history in your Akashic records in this library. And it is possible that from there, from a past life, there still is an energetic connection to the present time. This means that there is still an impact in what is happening in this present time. Example from one of my clients. So coming back to this idea of going on stage, an experience from a past life still can have an impact in the present time.
Today's guest is Swanette Kuntze, an engineer who turned into a business consultant and then left her career to become a success mindset coach. Swanette guides mission-driven business leaders and solo entrepreneurs to overcome their upper limit problems. She helps them to kick the invisible glass ceiling that still is holding them back from achieving their true potential and working in their genius zone, removing emotional baggage, blocking beliefs, and the last obstacles from past lives, becoming unstoppable for unlimited success in manifesting their vision of an abundance life of wealth, health, and love. Welcome, Swanette.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is one of the most courageous things you have done?
I think survived, because at the age of 8 years, I had a near-death experience. This was a moment, I was in coma, I was lying in a hospital, and the doctors didn't know what happened to me. Mm-hmm. So they thought it could be a meningitis, and I was lying there on the doctor's bed. I could see how they stick in a long needle into my spinal cord to take out some liquor to, of course, analyze what is going on. And at the same time, I was above. It was like something was pulling me into the light, and it was so peaceful and so lightful that I really felt, okay, I have to leave. And I could see my parents were outside, not in the same room. And the next moment I was pushed back into my body, and I woke up from my own screaming because of this horrible pain, and was back in coma. And so for me, being a child, fainting away, being in coma happened again and again and again, not having any control of my life. So it felt like that I had no control over my life. And for me, it was really courage to go on and surviving, so to say.
Yeah, definitely. God, that is courageous. So what got you started on your journey today of helping others kicking the invisible glass ceiling?
So for me, I have had a lot of ups and downs in my life, and like being very successful in business, and then everything breaks down again. In front of people, feeling comfortable, and the next moment, like I feel like I need to hide. And for me, it was not clear what is going on in my own life, and understanding that there have been a lot of blockages inside of me that came from my childhood, feeling I'm not good enough, that I'm different, that I don't belong here. And this all felt like, okay, this is inside of me, but I don't know how to handle it. And I learned to unblock myself. And seeing with how this works when you understand, okay, what is holding you back? What is kind of this invisible glass ceiling that you can reach, and then something happens and you bounce back, or you go in loops. What is it? Like having blocking beliefs, having trapped emotions, having traumas, and then releasing that and becoming free. And I think that a lot of business owners and soulpreneurs have the same situation. They feel that perhaps all the marketing stuff is set up very good. And they have a great business plan, and they have a vision what they want to create in this life, but still something is holding them back. And this can be that they as well have these blockages about themselves, like they have perhaps also a tradition in their family line that, for example, every time the parents became successful, something happened to them, and they have seen that. So like it is taking over this old tradition from the ancestral line, or they have the same experience in their own lives. So understanding this, what happened to me, helping soulpreneurs and business leaders to overcome this and become successful in their life, and also in their private life, of course.
Yeah, definitely. So what are upper limit problems? I know you've just talked about some. Can you just explain that a bit better, please?
So these upper limit problems are not becoming really abundant, for example.
Uh-huh.
So, or just making money but can't hold the money.
Okay.
Or going in relationships, and when these relationships become very intense, like being close to a marriage, then they split up.
Mm-hmm.
So they reach a certain level of intensity or deepness or richness, and then something happens that everything is going down again, is breaking down. And normally this is not clear why this happens. These are like situations that look like they happen from outside. Something is happening to them this way that something from inside is creating this.
Mm. So
And
yeah,
it is not conscious what is going on.
yeah, definitely. And how to clear them for unstoppable success in business and life is very important because, like you say, it's holding you back. So yes. So I know people that have emotional traumas. How does it stop us from living the life we want? How can we heal? There's a lot of people out there that do have traumas, and you have to heal. I know that for myself. I've worked through all of mine and healed. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
First thing is to understand that you have this kind of blockage or trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing the pattern is the first step, like getting this into your awareness. Often this is, as I said, not conscious, but in the subconscious mind, and it shows up in kind of symptoms. You see that, for example, always you look at your account, there's no money. Or every time you want to reach out to a person, this person doesn't want to spend time with you. So you see it as a pattern from the outside. But then you have to understand, okay, has there been a situation in your current life, like, for example, in childhood, when, for example, your parents always told you, you will never make it, or see, like, your friend is better than you, or your sister is so courageous doing this kind of thing, and you are not. So understanding what have been sentences you heard over and over and over again. And this is often coming from people that have been important in your life, like parents or teacher or your peers. Understanding these sentences and then understanding what is the impact with these sentences. Like if you had about yourself that you're not good enough, you will always try to go into another training, have another course, or need to have the next degree, or you will show up not really in your whole potential because you think, oh, you have to hold yourself back. And if you have clarity about that, then the next step is to clear it. And there are different kinds of techniques and tools, for example, working with tools from the NLP, doing reframing. I also work with the emotion code, which is an energy healing technique to release all the emotions that are connected to your blocking belief, which means if you have a belief about yourself, it is, you have an experience and you think about yourself, okay, no, again, this happens to me, I'm not good enough. And with that comes emotions of fear or anxiety or perhaps shame. And if you feel these emotions over and over again, your body will react with a certain kind of biochemistry. And these biochemistry and these emotions get to create kind of clusters in your body. And you can see it in people, like the body shape, like where they have the wrinkles, for example. If people are always angry, you can see that they have these wrinkles here. If people smile, they get the wrinkles here. Yeah, but you can see this in the faces of people, in the shape of their body. And of course, then if you have had this again and again and again, you need something to do to bring it out of your body. And there are different techniques like NLP or the Theta healing or the emotion code or others that we can work with.
Yeah, that's excellent. And it's true. You can see it in the body. You can see how people are holding things and they're always ill as well. Certain people, certain triggers. So how to address hidden triggers, getting past self-sabotaging and reprogramming your subconscious mind. How would one think about doing that?
The problem is that often the triggers are hidden. You can, you run into a situation and you have a certain kind of interpretation of the situation right away. You can feel that something is happening in your body, like you don't feel comfortable, for example, or you feel that you get it feels like a stone in your stomach, or perhaps you get a headache or something. So you get a reaction in your body in a certain way. So this is like the hidden trigger is reacting in your body, and then it is not hidden anymore, because if you observe yourself, like, okay, every time, for example, I have to go on a stage, I feel really uncomfortable. I feel almost like I need to vomit or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so some people are very fine. They go on the stage, they can speak, everything is fine. But some people really have this feeling they're near to die going on a stage and to speak in front of people, like people seeing them, and they have all the attention, and now they have to tell something about themselves and really be bright there and brilliant. This is very difficult. And so understanding that when this happens, there is something that is kind of a trauma and kind of a blocking belief about yourself, and this kind of situation is triggering you because you have the body reaction.
I know you talk about Akashic records. What are they, and why are they important to clear them from your past life success?
So Akashic records are a kind of a library of your soul. This means, and if you believe in that it is not the first time that you are on this planet, you had experiences before, like past lives where you have been here, you have your experiences, you have your learnings here. And every time you have been here, your soul is like incarnated, you're in a bio body, and then it's discarnated, just being the soul. And when you're incarnated, like you're in this lifetime, the experiences you have also as a history in your Akashic records in this library. Okay. And it is possible that from there, from a past life, there still is an energetic connection to the present time. This means that there is still an impact in what is happening in this present time. Example from one of my clients. So coming back to this idea, going on stage, was afraid of going on stage. And it was really that at this moment when she was up, like her brain was blank. She couldn't even remember her name. And so we figured out that in this present time, she had some experiences like being bullied at the board in school because she couldn't do some calculation. And there was another situation like speaking a poem in front of the family during Christmas time. So we cleared this out, and it got a little bit better, but not really that we could say, okay, there is really this big change. And then we looked into the genetic line, seeing what is there something that she had observed in her family. And there was again a situation from her mother that she always showed up like she was not good enough, and being kind of afraid of shining and showing fully up. So again, we cleared that, but then it still was not really like I wanted to have the transformation. And we did a little bit of stage training and a little bit of storytelling, but not really the difference. And then I said, okay, let's look into your Akashic records. So there must be something that is still connecting from a past life that impacts your situation right now immensely. And so I stepped in, and as soon as I opened her Akashic record, what I could see was she was standing on a wooden stage, people in front of her clapping and shouting, yeah, go on, go on. She had a rope around her neck.
Okay.
And the next moment she was hung. So understanding this, there was a connection between being on stage and death. And we cleared this out. And now she is able to speak on stage because it is not anymore connected that she needs to be in fear and need to expect that she is going to be killed. But now she can speak freely. So this is one example how an experience from a past life still can have an impact in the present time.
Wow, that's really powerful. Really powerful. I can understand why she felt she didn't want to go on stage. So, oh gosh, that's excellent. That's really important then. What resources do you recommend, daily tips to anyone who wants to start a journey on overcoming their upper limit problems?
First of all, it is getting awareness, seeing the pattern. Often people are a mirror for us because they tell us, oh, why don't you try this? And you feel that I can't do that. Understanding what are the triggers you react on. So bringing all this into into your awareness. And then, of course, if you have an understanding, okay, there is something that is holding me back, that is limiting me in really working into my genius zone, working with my full potential, then the next step is understanding what are sentences you tell yourself. I will never make it. Money is hard to catch. I'm not brave enough to do that. Other people can do that, but who am I?
Yes.
Yeah. So these kind of sentences that are limiting yourself in being excellent, write them down, because sooner or later they will come up if you focus on that. What are you telling yourself? And sometimes it's very interesting because what we tell ourselves, we would never tell anybody else. Like I wouldn't tell you, come on, who are you to now have this interview with me? Of course not. Yeah. But we tell it out to ourselves, and this is like bringing our energy down so much. Yeah. So understand what are the sentences, these beliefs you have about yourself, and write them down. Next step would be, what are sentences you could tell yourself, like affirmations that empower you? Kind of changing it to the positive. I have a message to bring out. So I'm really strong enough and courageous enough to now speak on a stage or speak in a podcast. Whatever these sentences are, like transform them into positive affirmations and use them on a daily basis. And so they can really be amazing sentences about yourself. You can even say to yourself, I'm the goddess, and I will shine my light.
Absolutely.
I will work beyond brilliance because I have these special gifts. Encourage yourself to really come into your full potential, into your essence.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And like you say, just sometimes we do have our own limiting beliefs. Just flip it on its head, turn it around. Sometimes it can be as simple as that. It can be, but then there are other things maybe that are stopping you from moving forward.
So another tool I use is, like, I have an invisible consulting team.
Okay.
So when I step into a situation and I feel like, okay, I will experience something that is kind of triggering me, what would my consulting team tell me about how to react on that? So one of my invisible consultants is Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings. And if I would ask him, he would say something that is very wise and very powerful. So I will get an answer how I can react on this situation. And then I have Pippi Langstrumpf. She's the one that makes the world like she wants to have it. She is with this monkey and with a horse in her house, this little girl. And she would tell me, do whatever you want to do, have fun in your life. So totally different perspective. And so I have different kind of consultants in this team who will give me a certain kind of perspective on a situation. So I can see it like from a wise side, from just enjoying life, from my grandmother, like, you know, the old traditional way, how she would do that. And so for me, it isn't now that it is not anymore necessary to just react, but I can choose how I will react on this situation. And this gives me possibilities. And then I can say, okay, I still think my reaction is the best choice, then I can do it. Or I can do something different. And we go out of this trap of our normal behavior as soon as we stop for a second, observe the situation, what is going on, what would be my normal reaction, asking this consulting team, and then react.
Yes,
we create a different pattern with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. So where can the listeners find you online? What is your website?
My website is spiritual-changemaker.com. And if people are interested, I give a free first consulting with new clients. So there is a booking link where you can reach out to me and book yourself into my calendar, and we will meet online and figure out what is holding you back and bringing more clarity into your own upper limit problems, your glass ceiling you're bouncing against, and perhaps go from there. Also, you can find me, of course, on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, all the social media with my name, Swanette Kuntze.
Thank you for sharing your courageous journey with us today. And by doing so, I'm sure you've helped many others. Swanette Kuntze, what is your definition of courage?
My definition of courage is that your why is stronger than your fears. That you really, even though you're facing the fears, you understand that you have to go through this, clear this, and then make it happen. Whatever it is that is driving you, being brave and doing the things.